Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Boggs fan. Collecting sports cards is a great hobby. I've been collecting sports cards for 43 years, but if you're new to the hobby or thinking about getting into the hobby, there are 5 easy steps you need to take to get you going in the right direction. So let's get started. Step number 1, you need to decide what you want to collect. Now, you may have a favorite team. You may have a favorite sport or a favorite player, or you may be interested in the veteran players of the sport, the Hall of Famers, or you may be more interested in the modern day players. Back when I first started collecting back in 1978, it was pretty easy for me to decide what to collect because back then, for baseball, there was only one set, one card company that was produced. Today, there are multiple card companies for various sports, and each company produces a multiple number of sets throughout the year. So it can be confusing. So my suggestion is to start off a sports card collection. Start off with a very narrow focus in what your interest is. Again, is it a team? Maybe you want to collect as many players as you want of a particular team. Maybe there's a certain player that you really like watching, or in the case of a vintage card, really liked their overall career. But find that little niche, that focus to start off with. Over time, your focus may grow or even go in a different direction. But again, to start off, decide what it is within the sports card hobby you want to collect. Step number 2, you need to decide whether you want to purchase graded cards or raw cards, or a combination of both. There are two main factors to consider when purchasing graded cards versus raw cards, and the first one is price. Generally speaking, you're going to be paying more for a graded card than you would for a raw copy of that same card. The second factor is storage. Graded cards are going to take up more storage space as opposed to raw cards that you have more options with. You can put them in binder pages, you can put them in penny sleeves and top loaders, and most of the storage boxes out in the marketplace handle raw cards better than graded cards. Step number 3, you want to explore various areas of where you can buy your cards. Hopefully, if you have a local card shop in your area, that may be one of the best early ways to start your collection. You can go in, talk to the shop owner, tell them what area that you would like to start your collection, and they may be able to show you some cards that fit into that area and it can help you look for particular cards that you are interested in. If you don't have a local card shop in your area, obviously there are online options. eBay is the most popular, but there are also Facebook groups, other online stores that deal in sports cards. So explore all the areas that you have available to you and start from there. Step number 4, and this is almost as important as the first step in deciding what you want to collect, is to set a budget. Decide what you can comfortably spend on sports cards, whether that be a weekly budget, a monthly budget, but stick to that budget initially. It's very important. There are many cards out there for sale. You may be seeing YouTube videos, other collectors add great cards to their collection, and you may be tempted to spend more than you can afford on acquiring a card or two. The main thing you want to do is avoid spending more than you can afford. This hobby is more of a marathon than a sprint. Take your time, slowly build up your collection, and at some point you may decide to purchase some cards in order to hopefully sell at a profit and take those proceeds to fund your main collection. There are various ways that collectors out there generate funds to invest into the hobby. But starting off, it is very important to keep to a budget so you don't get over your head. Okay, now that you've decided what you want to collect, whether you want to purchase graded or raw cards, you've explored areas where you can buy cards, and you set a budget. The last thing, step number 5, is do your homework. And what I mean by that is check eBay sold prices. If you're collecting graded cards, go to PSA's website and check out the latest auction prices to see what a card has recently sold for before you go and buy a card. The worst thing you can do is start off and start overpaying for cards just because you want that card, but you may be paying more than you need to. The other area in terms of your homework is if you are into modern players or rookies, all right, you want to watch that player, read up on that player, follow the current game to see how they're performing because that could affect their cards' prices. If you're interested in vintage but not quite sure who you want to collect, again, read up on some of the vintage players, the Hall of Famers, and some of them may interest you, and that may be the direction that you want to go to. So before you dive right in, do some of your homework and check up on the cards, what's hot, what's not, what's selling, what they're selling for, and that would give you a good basis on starting your collection. So there you have it. 5 steps you need to take to start a sports card collection. If you enjoyed this video, would appreciate a thumbs up. If you're interested in other videos related to the sports card collection, you can check them out over here. If you're not a current subscriber, would appreciate you subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell so you can be notified when I post another video, and you can do so right here. That's all I have for you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.